Have you ever heard of the moth experiments? No, of course you haven't. In fact, I'm sure only a handful of people in the world are cursed enough to know it. I went through a horrible bout of depression sometime last year. My mind went into this horrible state of loneliness and suicidal thoughts. My mother, growing ever more concerned of my behavior, sent me to a mental hospital for a week. In retrospect, this saved my life, but placed a curse over my entire existence. For it was there I would learn the terrible truth behind the moth experiment. I heard it from the other patient, named Red, a quiet, unassuming white male of his 40s, who looked far older than that if you hadn't known any better. I would have thought he was in his late 70s. He would barely speak to anyone, even the nurses and the other staff, and always kept to himself, but in his eyes he always looked at me as if he was trying to tell me something, but could not form the words or maybe even the motives. It was the 6th day of my stay, and I, feeling much better, was taking off the next morning and heading back home. It was particularly grey outside, signaling it would storm at any moment. But nothing could stop my positive mood. I woke up, put on my black jeans, socks, shoes, and red shirt saying Moth on the chest. I went to group after breakfast. And this is where things seemed odd with Red. He looked in horror of my shirt, almost aggressive discomfort towards it. I continued with group and went up to him after it was over. Hey, are you okay? I asked. The moths, do you not see them? They are everywhere. They won't leave me, he shouted frantically, alerting all the nurses on staff, averting all their attention towards the man who previously would only speak in whispers. He looks just like you. Demon, Lazarus Moth, leave me. He struck me, sending me back a few steps. He started grossly sobbing before being taken by nurses. I stood confused and scared, but I would not let this affect my mood. When I got home, I could not help but to think of what happened the previous day. Lazarus Moth. In my usual curiosity, I typed the name into Google. There was only one page that was found, so I clicked the link. The web page went black and red, showing a picture of a moth. After a few minutes, it went completely black before popping a video. A very morbid video that will haunt me to my dying day. A video showing a child, a younger man than I, with a strange mask on his face. It was black with only one eye hole. He looked towards the camera, sending chills to my very core as if he knew I was watching him. I sat there, afraid to move. His eye turned to look over the metal door. It slowly creaked up, revealing a strange man in a lab coat. The man went over towards the boy with a bag of what seemed like the contents of a standard medical kit. He pulled out a hypodermic needle with a strange crimson fluid inside of the syringe. He started administering it to the boy, crying out in pain, telling him to stop. Calm yourself, Lazarus, the doctor said. Now lift the box on your left. I stood in awe as a child named Lazarus lifted the wood box 10 feet from the ground. Excellent progress, Lazarus. You are a most promising subject. The man said with an eerie smile. The thing took a turn for the most as I saw the man freeze, whimpering, trying to let out something. Stop this now. He stood for a few seconds before his back bent at a perfect 90-degree angle, echoing a loud snapping sound that I can still hear clearly. 3 men in all white ran into the room to restrain the child. The tape skipped ahead and showed a gruesome image of a bloody empty room with no bodies. It flashed to what happened to be the other rooms and hallways of the buildings, all bloody and empty. I jumped out of my seat. When that happened to be a reflection of me was a child without the mask, with one gray eye and the other completely white popped up on the screen. It couldn't be me in the video, which appeared decades old, dating back at the dawn of the invention of video cameras. When the video went off, I tried checking back after a few hours, but the web page was gone, as if it had been deleted just right after I exited the site. That night I had horrible dreams of a dark, forbidding isolated forest, with that child looking at me. "Follow me," he would whisper, and I would wake in cold sweat, with a fright. One morning I went out for a drive, and for some faint reason I drove further than I would have towards a road that had been long closed to the public. "Keep out." A sign over the road projected. I entered, and shortly after my car went silent and stopped. I got to check what was wrong with it. It felt as if I had been here before, but could not remember where. A deep fog rose up around me, disorienting me. I walked up 50 yards for help. For anyone, then the fog lifted almost as abruptly as it appeared, and appeared nothing but forest. Then I stood paralyzed in fear. I knew where I had known this place. From deep within my nightmares, the images from the videos and dreams popped into my mind, and from the corner of my eye, I noticed a black liquid substance rising from the ground. One gray and one white eye looking at me. Lazarus. This was Lazarus, the child from my nightmare, oozing his way ever closer to me. I ran as fast as I could towards my white car. From a distance, he lunges his way in front of me, tripping me. I cut myself on the rocks below, making a deep gash on my arm. I cringe in pain, trying to get up and run, but can't lift myself up properly, so I stagger towards the car. I looked back. To my great misfortune, he was not there. I turned my head in front of me, seeing him in the way of my car, extending his arms toward me, gripping the gas, filling me with horrible pain. I slowly backed out. The images of him standing over me began being the last things I saw. When I came to, he was gone, and the gas was held, leaving behind a scar that looked like a moth. I got into my car and hauled the ass out of here. To my warm, safe home with my family. I don't dream of that place anymore, but I have started having blackouts every day near midnight. No matter where I am, I always go blank, and I always wake up at home in my bed. I woke one morning turning on the news, hearing of strange experiences where it seemed people vanished in their home. It had been going on for quite some time, starting at about the same time when I started blacking out. I went to the kitchen, and my mom looked at me strangely. Are you wearing contacts? No, Mom, I'm wearing glasses. Why would I wear contacts? Because your right eye. I stepped back a little, remembering Lazarus' grey eye. I rushed off to the bathroom in horror, looking at the mirror. One grey eye.